Hey guys, it's Kim here with Fairly Fiber Fun. Thanks for joining me today. This is Show and Tell episode 9, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a bit. If you are new to the show, welcome. So happy to have you join us, and thank you for watching. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for continuing to watch my shows. I appreciate the fact that you're still with me. And I wanted to give a warm welcome to our new subscribers. We've had several in the past week or so. And so I wanted to say thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and I hope you enjoy hanging out with me. Thank you. Today I have several things to share with you guys, so I'm going to go kind of fast if I can, because I don't want the show to get too terribly long. I have a few knitting projects that are in progress, nothing finished, some spins, and some sewing. And I have some beading related stuff to share with you guys if I can remember to throw it in here. This is about the third time I've tried to record today, and it just doesn't seem to be wanting to go. So I'm trying to be a little more organized, a little more thorough, and it's just I'm having a really rough time today for some reason. But anyway, we're going to get through this, and we're going to get it done, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. So as far as spinning goes, I have to get it out. I finished the Valentine spin, which I will link to the video in the show notes in case you didn't see that. You can go watch it. It's this gorgeous pink, purple, and red with little pops of white cotton. This was a lot of fun to spin, and I talked about it a bit in that video, so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details right now. This is Targhee fleece that I processed myself and dyed with acid dyes. So this was a lot of fun to do. I do not like the way I blended the fiber because I didn't really blend it. I just layered it on the hand cards and then rolled it up into a roll log. And there was a lot of fiber in each roll log, way too much. It was rolled too tightly and I had a hard time spinning it. I had to pre-draft like crazy. Also the cotton clumped, and when I was drafting it didn't want to draft properly because this is extremely short staple cotton. And I didn't blend it, so it wasn't evenly distributed, so it was really rough keeping a consistent spin, which this is thick and thin. This is not consistent at all, and that was fine. I just relaxed and spun this however I felt like it at any given moment. This was not a spinning for a particular project or a scientific spin. This is just spin it however, go with it, enjoy the moment, enjoy the fibers, enjoy the spin. So, and I did. I enjoyed it very much. And it's a little underplied in places, but I wasn't worried about it. I don't care for this spin. I just wanted to enjoy the process and end up with a soft, fluffy yarn, and I definitely did. I folded a bit when I washed it, and I like it a lot. I want to put this into a project, but I also want to use this as a gift away for Patreon or Ravelry or here on YouTube, something like that. So I've got a few things planned as giveaways, so I'm setting them aside for that. So no working with these because these are to be given away. That's the only spin I finished. I used my Babe Pinky spinning wheel, and I'm not getting along very well with that wheel. It's really hurting my back to use it. And I think part of it's because it's a double treadle and both of my feet are going and I don't have any way to rest my weight or brace my body while I spin. And I think that's hurting my back. So I have to stack a bunch of pillows behind me and lean against them and tighten up my core really hard and tight, which I don't always remember to do. And it's exhausting to hold your muscles really tight like that. So either that or I have to only treadle with one foot, and that wheel just doesn't appreciate being treadled with one foot because it's a double treadle wheel and it's a Babe. So it's a little finicky, but powers through everything I put on her. So I can't really complain too much. I just need to learn how to spin on her without hurting my back. So after I finished this spin, instead of picking up my Cormo sweater spin like I was supposed to, I haven't worked on it in a month, I started a silk spin because in the do-it-yourself and dye group in Ravelry, we're doing a silk prep along, spin along for February. So I thought, well, I've got these silk hankies from Luciferian Fiber Arts on Etsy that my boyfriend bought me for Christmas. And I thought, well, I have this silk, why not participate? It's my, this group is very active. We do a lot of things together and I really enjoy it, so why not? So I spun about 4 or 5 hankies and then set it down, and I haven't picked it up since then because I started a knitting project that has taken all of my attention. I haven't touched my spinning wheel since the 9th of February, so, but that's okay. I did start a spindle spin, and I'm going to show that to you now. It's in a brand new project bag that I made myself, which I will show you again here in a little while. This project bag was made for socks, but it's perfect for drop spindle. So here it is. I'm spinning these roll logs. This was another Christmas gift from my boyfriend, and it is again from Luciferian Fiber Arts. It's really, really pretty. It is not merino, like I said in the last show and tell. It is Corriedale silk. And very well blended roll logs. They're spinning like a dream. I am spinning this very, very fine on my own drop spindle. This is the first roll log. I have 4 total, and there's the top of the whorl. So you can kind of see how thin I'm spinning, if you can see that against the yellow whorl. It's really, really thin, and I'm almost done with this first roll log. I find if I'm sitting too much during the day, this project gets me off my butt and on my feet, and I can walk around the house while I'm spinning, or I can walk around outside while the kids play, and I'm finding it to be a lot of fun. And I've only broken the single about twice, so I'm doing really, really well with it. I'm very happy with this. I am going to spin, I just moved it. I had a spindle over here I was going to show you. I make these spindles. Let me go grab one right quick. I make these spindles. These are the lighter weight ones, same as that yellow one. And I paint them with sparkly paint. Here's one that doesn't have a hook on it yet. And I'll be putting 1 roll log on each spindle and then deciding how I want to ply it. So I'm either going to do 2 2-plies or 1 4-ply. And I haven't decided yet, so we'll get there when we get there. I don't have any plans to finish this project at a certain time. It's just whenever I get it done is when I get it done. If it takes me 2 or 3 years, it takes 2 or 3 years, whatever. So, but I'm really, really enjoying getting back into using the spindle again. So I haven't used the drop spindle since I got comfortable on the wheel. A little bit here and there, but not consistent. So these roll logs are a perfect reason to get out the drop spindles and work with them again. Excuse me, guys. Okay, on to knitting things. I have been working on a hoodie for my son. It is the Weekend Hoodie by Lion Brand. Lion Brand yarns. And I started sometime in January, and I'm using a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter needle for the main body, and then the ribbing is done on a US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter needle. And I'm using the Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo yarn because it was really cheap, and this is for a child. This is what the yarn looks like. This is the second skein, and I just started it. The majority of this sweater, all the way to there on the first sleeve, second sleeve, excuse me, all of this was done with 1 skein. I still have a few rows on the sleeve to finish, the second sleeve, the bottom ribbing to do, and the ribbing on the hood. First sleeve is done completely. This is The pattern is supposed to be worked from the bottom up. You work the back, and then you 3-needle bind off. You work the back, then you work the front. And you do a 3-needle bind off on the shoulders. Right there. So it's a nice little seam that you don't have to sew. And then you keep the back stitches live for the hood later. And then you're supposed to knit the sleeves bottom up, seam them onto the front and back, and then fold it and sew sleeve and side. I didn't do that. I sewed up the side seam, and then I knit the sleeves in the round. And I did do bottom up for the body, but I'm going to go back, pick up stitches, and knit the ribbing in the round because I don't like to seam ribbing. And I didn't know how long I wanted it, and I thought this way, 2 things. If I didn't have enough yarn, I could use a contrasting yarn for all the ribbing, or if it wasn't long enough, I could add several rows before doing the ribbing. So we'll make the ribbing longer. So yeah, I still need to add a pocket, which is not part of the pattern, but he asked for a pocket. This is for my 11-year-old son, and he picked the color. Yes, this is black. I am knitting black, but it's plain stockinette and 2x2 rib, so it's really easy. And I don't have, I'm not having any problems with this yarn. It's not too fuzzy. It's not real splitty. It's not soft. He says it's a little scratchy. And that's the downside of this yarn, but the upside is that it's excellent for beginners to work with because it is not splitty and it's got good stitch definition and you can really tell what you're doing even when you're working with black. So if you want to work with black for the first time and you're not sure which yarn to use, Red Heart may be the best choice for starting out, but it's not that pleasant to work with because it's a synthetic, a very cheap synthetic yarn. It's not a wool yarn, it's not a wool blend, it's just cheap plastic or whatever they make that out of. So, yeah, that's the Weekend Hoodie. I have not worked on it since the beginning of February, I think. I did a lot. I worked on it like crazy until I got it to that point, and then I started a new project that I kind of been working on monogamously, and nothing else has been done. So, and here is that project. It is in my second ever project bag that I sewed. And it is the pinwheel sweater that I've been wanting to use my Tour de Fleece spin for. So I showed you guys the box of yarn last time, and I was kind of waffling around what color to start with. I ended up starting with the yellow, and then I did the blue, and then the orange, which is where the sleeves are, and then the green. Until I got to the green, I had yarn left over. Once I got to the green stripe, I used every bit. When it ran out, I just started with the purple and kept going. When I ran out, I added the red and kept going. When I ran out, I added the fractal skein, and I finished with the fractal. Now I have no idea if this is going to fit. I have no idea if it's big enough. I didn't have a big enough cable to be able to try it on. And when you're doing afterthought sleeves, you don't have a hole to stick your arm through, so it's kind of moot. Anyways, so I have really enjoyed working this pattern. I've really enjoyed the yarn. Working with your own hand spun is fabulous. The yarn kept me from getting bored with this. It's stockinette until you get to the garter edge, and then you knit around, purl around, knit around, purl around, and every 6th round you increase so that it continues to get a little bit bigger. Well, I didn't plan my colors well, and I'm not too happy with the fact that the fractal is only a little strip around the edge, but I'm going to finish the fractal in the sleeves and we'll see what happens. I did a simple 4-stitch I-cord bind off, which is the first time I've ever done that. I started with 3 stitches, didn't like it, and so I just increased to 4. I had done about 2 or 3 inches, and I just left it there. I didn't take it out. So when I finished, I decreased back down to 3, did the last few bind off stitches, and then sewed it together. So when I finished the bind off on February 16th, which was Friday, And I was in the car rider line at the middle school. I get there an hour before school lets out, and I sit there and knit. So I finished the I-cord bind off there and picked up the sleeves and knit a round or two in the orange. I had just a little bit of orange left over after knitting the orange stripe. So I did the sleeves. I'm doing them 2 at a time, using both the inside and the outside of the ball at the same time. So I just knit until I didn't have any more yarn left, and then started using the fractal skein the same way, using both ends at the same time and knitting these sleeves 2 at a time. And I think I did 1 row of the fractal, and then I had to stop for something. I'm not sure now what, but that's where I'm at now, the sleeves. And I hope to have this done in another week or so, because I really want to try it on and see how it does. I'm really excited about this. I am not going to do the loopy twisted I-cords all the way around. I'm not going to do that. That's the biggest change I made to the pattern. The only other changes I made is that my yarn is smaller, so I'm using a smaller needle. I'm using, I can't read my notes here. The Pinwheel Sweater is by Shelly McKee. I have really detailed notes of everything I'm doing on my Ravelry project page if you all want to go look at it. I cast on this project on February 9th and powered away on it. Finished, bound off the body on February 16th. That's pretty good. I am using US 6, which is a 4mm needle, and I think that's everything I haven't already told you about this project. So I had to do a whole lot of math because my gauge was 1 stitch smaller per inch than the pattern gauge. The pattern gauge was 4.5 stitches per inch, and I just took the however many stitches by 4 inches and divided it by 4 to get the per inch. I did not knit a gauge swatch for this project. I started the pinwheel center and I worked out to the second color, and then I measured my gauge then, so I would know how big to knit it before the sleeves. And it turns out I needed 10 stitches more per section than the pattern. So I think it said knit until you have 28 stitches in between yarn overs, and I knit until I had 32 or 36 or however many it was. And then for the end it says to knit until you have, I think the pattern said 48 stitches per section, and I did 61. I did 61 stitches. 62. Something like that. It was almost 500 stitches all told, because there's 8 sections. It was a lot of knitting. It took me a long time to get each round completed by the time it was that big. So that was, it started out, I did a ton. I got through the blue and into the orange on the first day, and then I, it slowed way down after that. So I'm really having fun with that, and I am enjoying this large floppy project bag. I'll tell you a little bit about the bag now, just because I have it in my hand. I sewed this out of some leftover fabric from curtains that were made for my boys. It's Captain America fabric. And I lined it with some that I had in my stash, my fabric stash back from my quilting days. And it's simple red, whatever you call that. I'm drawing a blank right now. Anyway, just simple, very, very simple. I added snaps because it needed a closure, and I was too lazy to put a zipper in. I wanted to make 2 of these, and I didn't have enough fabric to make 4 straps, so I just made 2, and I attached one of them to this bag, and it was too long, so I folded it down inside, leaving some hanging out. So I have the big handle, the big strap, and the little handle. I don't know if that's even a thing. Like, I don't know if I'll ever use that little handle or not. But as for one of my very first project bags that I sewed myself, this is really quite nice. And I love how big it is. Like it holds quite a bit. Has room for more in it. Now, right quick, I have to tell you guys that I've been watching the Passionate Spinner podcast, and Tracy she's crazy. She does everything. She sews, she knits, she crochets, she does cross stitch, she spins, she does it all. And she's always showing everything she's been doing and her plans for the future, and I got so inspired to make project bags and knit the sweaters. So I did the project bags. These are the first ones I made. This one was first. It's got the double drawstring, which was inspired by this bag. This was my daughter's until I took it. And this holds the weekend hoodie that I'm making for Luke, which I took out of the bag to show you, and I didn't feel like putting it back. So that drawstring was inspired by that bag, and I made this so that I could put a sock project in here, but socks are a bit much, especially if you're using 2 skeins of yarn. This bag is a little bit too small. Now I have a skein of yarn, needles, and a pattern that I've written down or copied down. So my printer's not working right now. So I hand copied it. And I'm going to take that out. That's going to be frogged because I don't like what I'm doing. And then the same thing on another one of those bags with the opposite fabric. It's lined with the same exact fabric, so it's almost reversible. And this is the one that holds my drop spindle. After I made those and realized that they were too small for knitting, but perfect for drop spindling, and I've kind of gotten hooked on having my projects in a bag. I just love having them in a bag that I can close up and just shove it wherever, and I don't have to worry about my needles falling out, losing my stitches, losing my notions, the pattern. Usually I just lay my stuff on the couch and shove it on a shelf or something. Well, now I don't have to worry about anything getting lost. Project bags are amazing. If you've never used project bags like this, you should. I'm going to have a million project bags, and I only have maybe 3 or 4 projects going at one time, so I don't need all these bags, but I'm going to have them because I love them. Okay, so the next project bag I made, another drawstring bag. This time it's only 1 string, and I didn't even try to do this perfect, but all of my seams matched up perfectly. So this very perfect bag is going in the for sale gift away pile. And I have a few things in here that are also gift away. So, but I want to talk about the bag right now. I accidentally sewed the handle to the opposite side as the drawstring. So it hangs like this, and I actually love this. So it was a happy accident. And I lined it with yellow. This is this fabric right here is flannel. It is not like quilting fabric, it's flannel. And I had pre-cut squares out of it to make a quilt, and then never got around to doing it. So I used some leftover curtain fabric when I made yellow curtains for my living room, and I now have them in my bedroom. So I have a ton of this, so I used it as the lining. And I really, really like this. I used ribbon that I had found in my fabric box, and I put beads on the ribbon to kind of cinch up the bag, and the beads are tight on the ribbon, and so they don't slide easily. You can move them, but they don't slide on their own. And I just really like that. So this bag is just perfect, and it's either for sale or giveaway. I don't really care at this point. I have the 2 spins I did for the Christmas special in here, and I'm putting the Valentine's spin in here. So this is my giveaways that I'm going to keep until we get to the point on in the Ravelry group and on Patreon to where we can start giving stuff away. I will have things already set aside for that, and I'm really excited. So I hope you guys will head over to the Ravelry group and join in so that there's a chance to win some of these things. And I hope you guys go check out the Patreon site and see if you want to become a supporter of the shows, because y'all's support makes purchasing fabric and purchasing dyes and wool wash and more fiber to spin, better equipment, things like that possible. So yeah, I really appreciate everybody's financial support. And so if you would like to financially support the show, go on over there, and you'll have opportunities on down the road a little bit to win some cool things. So go check that out. Now, I made a second version of this bag, and I decided to put the handle on the same side as the drawstring, and I don't like it. I prefer it opposite, so now I know. Also, my seams did not match up. I tried so hard and failed. So this one's mine, because if I don't like it, I'm not going to put it, either I'm not going to sell it, I'm not going to give it away. It's for me because it's not perfect. It's not good enough. It's not high enough quality. And in here I just have a UFO. It is the Socks Valentines that I was supposed to finish before the end of October and didn't. I've shown them to you guys before. This is the first sock that I finished in January. And this is Deborah Norville's Serenity Sock Yarn. And some little beads. I'm using US 1 knitting needle. I do not know what the millimeter is for that. It is Hiya needles, because I love Hiya needles. So Hiya sharps, to be exact. Because with cabling you need the sharps. I need to get this finished, the socks finished, because I have a pattern that I'm designing, a sock pattern, that I need to test knit to see if my design's going to work. And I'm not going to use two patterns with cables. I'm not going to knit two things with cables at the same time. It's just not happening. Not socks. I used different beads on this one, and I really don't like the beads. But other than that, it's the same as the other bag, and I really, really like it. I watched a few YouTube videos on making different zippered pouches and things. I have planned to make some Notions pouches next, but I got distracted and I made a box bag out of leftover Captain America fabric, a red zipper that I purchased for this fabric, and I got a zipper pull. It is a American flag charm. It's the only thing I could find that went with the themed fabric. This one is the only bag I have added stuff to it to make it thicker. This is padded with felt. And it is fully lined. I zigzagged all of my seams because I don't have a serger. Oh, I do, but it's in storage somewhere and I have no idea where. I think it's in my mom's storage building, but I don't know. I put the zipper on the wrong side of the fabric. The zipper is supposed to go here, not here. So, oh well. But it's a box bag. It's my first one. It was an experiment, and I think I want to get some interfacing, some stiff interfacing for the next time I make a bag. So I'm going to wait on the sewing for a bit, this type of sewing for a bit, until I get some interfacing, because I don't have any right now. And that leads me to future projects. When I get these sweaters finished, I have two other little boys that need sweaters, and I'm going to try to get some sweaters knit for them this year. I also have more socks that I want to knit, and I really, really, really want to try knitting some leggings. I have been wanting to knit leggings for 2 or 3 years now, and I still haven't done it. So I really want to do that. And I've got some blue jean pockets. Literally, I cut the pocket out of the blue jeans. And I'm going to make some more vape pockets to hang on the car door. My boyfriend requested one because he needed a place to put his vape that it wouldn't take up his cup holder and it wouldn't fall over and get broken. And so I made this. I just cut a pocket out of a pair of his recycled blue jeans, and I sewed it to some other fabric, padded it a bit, and put a little loop on it with a snap closure and hung it on his door. I'll show you the pictures here. He loves it. He's been talking to other people that want some. So I cut out of 2 other pair of jeans, I cut out all the pockets, and I will be working on those next for sewing because I have everything I need to make those. And if I make those, then he can send people to me to buy them if they want to. He's the manager of the local vape shop, and so, you know, I don't vape. It's better than smoking, but I don't vape. So I'm happy that he does because cigarettes are horrid. The vape isn't anywhere near as bad. And he always comes home from work smelling nice because the vape juices smell delicious. So a lot of them smell like candy. Yum. Candy and fruity cereal and things. Oh, it smells so good. So anyway, I'm really, really pleased that he's so happy with that pocket. And yeah, I'll be doing more stuff like that. Well, I hope to have these knits in progress finished on our next show and tell episode. I did want to give you some heads up. In March, we will be having a green theme because of St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is the 17th, which is on a Saturday. So the kids don't have to worry about getting pinched at school, thank God. They hate going to school on St. Patrick's Day because they always get pinched. Even if they're dressed all in green, they still get pinched. And they just hate it. But for you guys, I'm doing a green theme the whole month. And I asked people on Instagram what you guys wanted to see more. Spinning green fiber or dyeing up some green fiber, and the dyeing request was won more votes than the spinning. So we'll be doing a dyeing video, or attempting to do a dyeing video in March. And then I figured I would do my next tutorial with that fiber. So we're going to do the whole month kind of green. I also asked Instagram followers if you guys wanted to see, I gave y'all two options and I don't remember exactly what they are. One of them was like drafting techniques for spinning. The other one was something else that's spinning related. I don't really remember, but it was a tie between the two. So I figured I would just dedicate the entire month of March to the choices that were voted on on Instagram for March. So the only exception to that is the cotton spin, which may or may not happen in March. I'm trying to get one episode a month of the series, but I'm not 100% positive that I'm going to be able to work that into March. We'll see. I'm kind of restructured my whole YouTube videos schedule, as in I don't have to get a video out every single week anymore. I would like to, but if I don't, I don't. Life happens, and so I'm giving myself a little more leeway here, and it's taken a lot of pressure off, and I'm able to do more. So I'm really excited about that. Also, lost my train of thought. That happens a lot. Can I get it back? It ran away. It just ran away. Oh, that's what it was. The kids are home all next week. I don't know why they have a winter break in February, but they do. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. They just had break for Christmas and New Year's, and now they're having another one. So I don't know if I'll be able to get a video out next week. I will try and see, but I cannot guarantee it. So if I don't see you next week, I'll see you the week after. But that's another thing I'm working on is getting these announcements out to you guys. So hopefully that'll work. I appreciate you guys spending some time with me today. I believe I've shared with you everything I had on the agenda to share today, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode. And I will see you next time. Don't forget to head over to Ravelry and become a member of the Ravelry group, because as soon as we hit 100 members, I'm going to start doing giveaways on Ravelry. Also, hop on over to Patreon. When we reach the first financial goal, we're going to start doing giveaways there on Patreon as well. So all the links are in the show notes below, so go check those out. And if you missed the Valentine's spin or the Christmas special, I will try to have both of those linked, but I know I'll have the Valentine's spin linked in the show notes below. So I think that's all for today. You have a fantastic day. Enjoy everything you do, as Tracy with Passionate Spinner likes to say. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.